Hello, this is Vanessa, and this is the ASUS VivoBook 13 Slate OLED. And this right here is a 2-in-1 laptop that comes pre-installed with Windows 11 OS. Now, what makes this a 2-in-1 laptop is that you can just use it as it is with touchscreen, or you can attach it with this detachable keyboard. And other than this detachable keyboard, you'll also find many other accessories in the box, which I'll show you what they are right now. As mentioned earlier, you'll find this detachable keyboard, this cover stand, which is also detachable, a 65-watt charger, the ASUS Pen 2.0 stylus, a holder for the stylus, a short USB-C cable to charge the stylus, the laptop sleeve, and also the ASUS VivoBook 13 Slate OLED itself. The ASUS VivoBook 13 Slate OLED is powered by the Intel Pentium Silver N6000, and the variant we got has 8GB RAM and 256GB of SSD, which is the highest variant available. Hearing this, you might be wondering if the processing power is enough, and the short answer to that is it depends. If you're talking about just browsing the web or doing some office work, it is sufficient, although some websites take a while to load, and for websites like YouTube, sometimes it'll take 2 seconds to make it full screen. Also, being a gamer myself, I was wondering if you can play any games on the VivoBook 13 Slate OLED. So for heavier games like Genshin Impact, you basically won't be able to play it properly because the frames just drop too low to be able to enjoy it. But for lighter games like ASUS, you won't have any problems playing at all. It's very smooth, it has no lag or latency issues, so you don't have to worry about playing light games like this. Also, for Agent A or any kind of point-and-click games, you can also play without any issues. Good news is that you can actually run Photoshop on the VivoBook 13 Slate OLED. Although I'm not sure how many layers it can handle, and I'm not an artist whatsoever, but while I was using Photoshop to do some simple art, it was actually pretty smooth and didn't have any problems. Moving on to the ports, at landscape orientation, you'll be able to find a 3.5mm combo audio jack on the left, 2 USB-C ports with one that you definitely use as a charging port, and one micro SD card reader that you can probably use for any extra storage that you need. It also comes with a quad speaker with 2 on each sides. There are volume buttons on the right, which is very useful when you're using the device in tablet mode. And lastly, on the top, you'll find the power button, which also works as a fingerprint sensor. That is actually pretty cool. Alright, this is the cover stand. It is magnetic and detachable, so what you do is just attach it onto the back of the VivoBook, like so. Super easy. You prop it up, and it's a stand. You can also prop it up further for when you wanna draw or just write any notes. Also, it can be used in portrait orientation. I guess it also works as a protective case for the back. Moving on, we have the keyboard. It is also magnetic and detachable. Attaching it is really easy. You just have to align it, and then it just pops it in the hole. Now this is the keyboard. It is also magnetic and detachable. Attaching it is very easy. You just have to align it, and boop, that's it. So on top, you see the functioning keys, and the keys have very good traveling speed with 1.4mm key travel distance. The keys are flat and thin enough, which makes it easy to type on, and you can also definitely type very quickly. The touchpad is centered to the keyboard and is also very large and wide, which makes it very easy to move from one end to the other of the screen. The material used is very smooth and easy and just very satisfying to glide on. The palm rejection is also very good, so you can just easily type on the keyboard without worrying that you move the cursor. One note. So this kind of keyboard is best to use on a flat and solid surface so that it's just more stable. I would suggest to not use it on your lap for safety reasons. Speaking from first-hand experience right here. This stylus is called the ASUS Pen 2.0 and it has a few functions. The top button right here is a function button that allows you to bring up Microsoft Whiteboard when you press it once, and when you press it twice, it will bring up the snipping tool. This is customizable on the Pen and Windows Ink menu. And these two buttons on the side are also pretty cool, but they're not customizable. So the bottom button is an eraser tool, which means when you're drawing on your VivoBook and you made a mistake, you can easily just click on the button and just erase, rather than having to go to eraser, erase it, then go back to your brush tool and draw again. So this is very convenient. The next button is actually a right-click button, as in your mouse right-click button. So if you're using your VivoBook with just the pen and you want to right-click, you can just hold on to the right-click button and click on whatever you want to right-click. The ASUS Pen 2.0 comes with 4 interchangeable pen tips, which you can find on the box that the stylus was in. So as you can see here, there's H, HB, and B, and the one that comes pre-installed is a 2H pen tip. There's also another cool thing about the box, which is this hole that is supposed to be helping you to take off the pen tip and change it. The battery of the stylus is actually rechargeable, and the way you charge it is to spread this open, reveal the hole, take a USB-C cable and charge it. According to ASUS, it takes about 30 minutes to full charge, and then it'll last you for over 140 hours. This pen holder is also magnetic, so all you have to do is put this at the back of your VivoBook, put your pen in, and you're good to go. And when you want to use it, you can take your pen out, use it, and put it back in. Or you can take the entire thing out and use it. Whatever works for you. The VivoBook 13 Slate OLED has a 13.3 inches Full HD OLED glossy display, HDR True Black 500 certification, 100% DCI-P3 color gamut and Pantone validated color display, and a 550 nits peak brightness. On top of that, the 16:9 aspect ratio makes all your videos look a lot more cinematic. And honestly, the audio is not that bad too. It's really clear, it's really loud, and even when you put it on a really high volume, the audio won't break or distort. And while I feel like the treble is very clear and loud, the bass might have lagged a little bit. But you know that's okay, because you can always customize your audio settings in Dolby Atmos, so just play around with the equalizer to get what you want. The VivoBook 13 Slate OLED has a 50 Wh battery capacity, and it took me like 1 hour and 36 minutes to charge from 5% to 100% using this 65 watt charger that comes with it. So I would say that is honestly pretty fast. It's like fast charging on your phone. As for the battery life, I turned up the brightness up to 70%, and then I ran the PCMark Modern Office battery life test, and the result showed me 8 hours and 60 minutes. So this means it will last you around 8 hours when you're using it to do your basic everyday office stuff like going to conference calls, doing work on Excel sheets, Word, and all that sort of stuff. So I guess that's decent, that's not bad. It can last you an entire day of work, 8 hours. And especially since I tested it out at a 70% brightness level, and 70% is honestly really bright. You usually don't need that kind of brightness level unless your life is really dark and you need some light in your life. Alright, so I personally would suggest the VivoBook 13 Slate OLED to people who are looking for a device mainly for media consumption, because the OLED screen is just the bomb and the audio is pretty good too. Also for people who are always on the go, on the run, since the portability is not bad and it's compact as well. Lastly, for people who are of the art field, since you can do some photo edits and some light Photoshop work, which is definitely great. At 3,499 ringgit, to be able to get the OLED screen with all the extra accessories, that is not bad. Although there are also things that could be improved on, especially the processor, but at the same time, it's understandable because this is a fanless device. Right, so this is pretty much all I have to say about the VivoBook 13 Slate OLED. I hope it's informative enough. I hope to see you guys again next time. Bye!